Welcome to FinTech Close-Up. FinTech Close-Up is a series of events where we invite the founders, CEOs, and key personnel from FinTech companies to tell their story, share their experience. And today we have a special edition, Baltic Fintech Days edition. And that's why I have not one guest, but two guests. My name is Nauris Bloks. I'm FinTech business education lead at Riga Business School and also CEO at Twino. And today with me there is founder and CEO of Wandoo Finance Group, Iveta, and co-founder and CEO of Indemo, Sergejs.
Hey.
Great to see you here. Usually we discover the business models of fintech companies, which I'm talking to during our discussion. But as we have only 40 minutes and it's shorter discussion, I will tell your business models right away, at least from some perspective. Yeah? So those who don't know, Wandoo is a finance services company who has issued more than 600 million in consumer loans since 2016, so already 10 years in the market. It's built from Riga, operates in multi-market, and the core service is digital lending.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's what Iveta has founded and building, and we will go into that a bit later. About Indemo, those who don't know, the Indemo is a regulated alternative investment platform which offers investments in real estate with fantastic 21.6 average return per annum. And Indemo has 21,000 investors and 31 million in investments. So you can hear it's millions. So it's not the first time founders or let's say beginners. There is already some experience here, and that's why I also want to share that. I want to get that from them. FinTech Close-Up series has been 13 times before this. We have talked with several different founders and key personnel. You can find it all on YouTube. And every person that I have talked to has their own story. And it's usually different than actually I thought before. Yeah? So that's why it's very interesting to talk with these people. And today we will look back on some of those messages from those episodes. And I would like to hear your perspective on these takes. Yeah? So let's start. And the first question, which we will start, why start? So, Iveta, let's start with you. So maybe a little bit about your background and why start founding the fintech.
Okay, so my background before Wandoo Finance basically was, I started my career in the finance field in a bank. Later, I worked in several fintech companies. Most of them were doing lending business, so it was something I knew. And how Wandoo started and why it started, actually, it was kind of interesting story because I wasn't planning to start my own business. I didn't have those millions to start with. But you know how it is. When you work in one company or another, you always have in your mind somewhere that, this and that I would do differently, or I would make a different choice, or I would make a different decision. So it kind of was interesting what if I would have that choice. But my story started actually with a random call from a person I don't know, saying that he's an investor. He have heard
usually those scams.
Yeah, but 10 years ago it was not so common and popular. And he was offering money, not vice versa. So the guy was saying that he have heard a lot about me and have good feedback, and he wants to invest. He wants to be in the fintech business. So I can give you the money. What you want to do?
Okay.
And the most interesting part was that I'd made a business plan, and of course it was lending because it was something I knew the best. And the most interesting part, I think it was shocking to me because I met him after he actually invested first money. We did a few calls. I created the business plan.
He gave you the money. You started the business.
I funded the company. I opened a bank account.
Yeah.
So he transferred the money, and then I think after 6 months was the first time when I saw him live. So, that's how it started.
So you wanted the control to yourself, make your own decisions, and it came together with opportunity, which was just...
But for the beginning, I think it's excellent motivation when you have this hunger,
of course,
ego things to prove myself, to earn some money, to to show everyone that I can do it. So it works well, but it does not work in the long run.
Okay, we will get to that.
Yeah, okay.
Great, perfect. Sergejs, what's your start story? So what you have done before in Indemo and why you decided to start in Indemo?
Okay, Nauris. Yeah, Iveta, nice. Thanks for sharing. It's really interesting. So, like early stage, like early road, in my case was quietly similar. So I was like working also in the corporate field, but I would say maybe what makes slightly interesting the story. I was on the we could like ask, is it a dark side or white side? But I was on the legal, so I was legal side and basically working in the support. Yeah, basically legal is usually supporting business operations. And at one point, basically when I was my initial stage was like a bank, like 10 years. And then I moved to Mintos marketplace, where I was basically stepping out from the very pure legal as we were getting the licenses, you folks know, and it was very much more than legal in that case. And at that point, basically, when we get the license, we shifted Mintos to the regulated products, regulated structures. I understood that basically legal is too limited for me. So like it's...
You're a lawyer by education?
Yeah, I'm a lawyer. I have master degree, like summa cum laude for law.
That's unusual that lawyers actually go to the
completely. So usually I'm asking why it's so. But but basically I understood that legal profession is very narrow for me.
It's boring.
Well, it's not boring. I would not say, but I would say.
Then from Mintos to the Indemo. So.
Yeah. So and at that point, I basically was understanding that like I basically did what I wanted, like personally in Mintos. So I don't have any like next growth opportunities there, like personally, not the company itself, etc. And I was approached by my ex teammates from the bank. Which were
also random call, yeah. So
basically, it was even not random. They sent like one emissary, like one ex-colleague.
Yeah.
Sergey, let's go for lunch, like, etc. Because at that point I was still working in Mintos, and basically they told that they are having like a lending and debt servicing business in Spain. They see that this new era of platform is growing, expanding. And they wanted to get some feedback, like, is it possible, how feasible it is to build a platform? We started speaking like I was advising them, and then they told Sergey, like, we see you're not just a lawyer, you're basically a good operator, like founding operator, so do you want to start? And for me it was like becoming CEO, like founding CEO of the company, like really. So it was a definitely interesting challenge, but at that point I was ready for like big change, and I told hell yes, and in that way it started. So I became the co-founder and then founding CEO, and basically was employee number one also from the day one.
So you had the experience, opportunity came, and you just took it. Yeah. So that was your. If you look back to the previous series of the FinTech Close-Ups, then there are some founders who also have tried to define why they started. For example, Carlos Mikos from Tailwind said, if it doesn't exist, then you have to build it. Yeah. So his motivation, because actually he found the gap into the market and he started to build it. Yeah. Or Liga Vinkele from Fintelligence said that she also, similar like Iveta, wanted a little more control and actually to make her own decision. Yeah. So to be the king for herself, yeah, or queen in this case. But also the accidents are part how you actually get the opportunity. Yeah. For Tom Snippard from JFAP, he almost accidentally also became a fintech founder. Yeah, so he was flying to the Barcelona, got some random call again from university. I also want those random calls. Maybe I will receive something as well. So we can see that there is like different starts for the founders. What's their motivation or what's their starting point? But the one thing is to start. The next is okay. Now you have started. You have money. You have founded the company. You have some team. And then one of the first things, at least in my experience, is that you have some kind of expectations, and then you hit the reality wall. So let's maybe talk about that. Yeah. So for example, Sigita Kotler from Nectaro described that she wanted to build a product, but when she joined or started the Nectaro, she had to write 60 procedures. That was her first task. Yeah, so the reality is that you will actually build some sexy fintech product. No, you will sit write 60 procedures or get 60 procedures through the licensing process. Yeah, or Viktor Bodnar from first Latvian licensed MiCA entity, Blockben, said that. The important is also that the expectation they are blockchain-based services or financial services, and everyone expects that you are building the technology, but you actually the reality is you are building the financial services. Yeah, so this is something different than maybe you started with. Yeah, so let's go to Sergey, to your expectations versus reality check. So when you started in demo, so what was the expectations and maybe some cases where you actually hit the reality wall?
Referring to Sigita, it's our colleague, and then my ex-teammate too. We worked together before. I would say I was used to. I was planning that I start drafting procedure because it's basically we were going for the license from the day one. Yeah. So for me, it's basically was what I will like when I was coming. I don't know. First day we just rented startup office, in Agaskans in a flat. And there was like a huge bench of some it was like classic startup office with some alcohol on the shelf, like whatever, some toys and etc. And I was understanding that first task would be like starting with procedures, business plan, whatever. Which unexpected was that it is the easiest part of starting the stuff because I would say for me the most challenge was like starting hiring people. So basically the first painful point I hired the marketing guy which was not delivering too well, and then I needed to pass part of the ways. And for me, it was basically the first challenge.
So the expectation is that you will find a good team and start with the business. Reality actually
exactly.
Was the right
so
person.
I was coming from Mintos, and basically Mintos had like the most motivated, super powerful team. Especially in that time, we were getting the license and then growing. And then I was thinking that basically all the people, all the team will be working in the same pace. And then you realize, no, there will be also other people who are not so motivated and then not working in that pace. So I would say people was the first struggle point when we started.
Okay, Iveta, what about you? So expectations, you will build the biggest lending company in the world, so the money will flow in, and then the reality.
Well, I think not so much surprises in the beginning, meaning that I was working in the field. I had a previous experience of opening remotely markets like international companies, leading and managing the companies before. So all that goes for managing people, whatever is the part of managing the business. I had experience. I think that my thing that I never realized in the beginning is that so now imagine, when I started, I was alone, startup office, as everyone else, sitting in the room, planning to open first market, and it was Georgia at that time. So finding partners, sitting in Riga and finding partners and establishing some relationships and so on. So searching for employees, obviously, but I never thought about the thing that when you start like that and where the company is now, how different I will need to be, or how different skill set you have to have in the different stages of development of the company. So to me, the biggest surprise or reality check was that how much I had to work on myself, or on managing the risks or fear of losing something, and of course the huge responsibility towards investors and the team. So to me, the reality check was that how different is who you need to be depending on where the company are, and that changed a lot during the 10 years, and I think I still am somehow surprised time by time. So how things are changing, and okay, all I knew before is not working anymore. So for sure, some experience it helps, but new things are coming, technologies, new trends on the market, new whatever, and it requires you not only to hire people with a different skill set, but also for you to be the person who has those skills or understanding of what's going on. So So for me, it's how I had to change in the
So
process.
the expectation was that you will be the queen
Oh, I'm
of
good
the
enough,
house.
you
Yeah,
know,
you're good
I
enough.
have-
You know, wow, yes. So,
Yeah.
and actually, this is how we will do things.
Yeah, and I
then
did it
the reality,
before,
yeah.
and I have experience in all like aspects of leading
Yeah.
the company, opening internationally
So the skill set
markets.
was there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I thought that it will be enough, but it wasn't.
So the reality was that actually you have to grow together with team, with company, with business, and with the environment around you.
Sure, and more not maybe not so much in the technical skills. I'm not talking about those that much. Of course, you do need those, but that's the thing that you can train or learn, or that's the easiest part. I'm more talking about like personal qualities, how you deal with the emotions, how you perceive things, how you should perceive them to reach any level of profit, income, or whatever. So more like personality-wise rather than just some skills.
Okay. Yeah, you already mentioned that one of the things that as a founder, as a CEO, you have to do, you have to take risks. Yeah. So, for example, I'm a very risk-averse person, so it means that it takes a lot of convincing myself to do something more riskier than usual. Yeah. So that's the thing that I have to work with. Looking back on your story, Iveta, so can you kind of give us some example of the risk or challenge you have taken and you have been proud of? Yes, I did it.
Well, I think for us, and for me personally, the biggest challenge and the biggest almost failure was COVID, and that was the time when we had attracted a huge amount of money from the investors, and I think we were cooperating with peer-to-peer platforms similar to any that we all know. So, and what happened then, I think that was the first thing when I realized how I didn't see those risks coming, because we have a short-term product, and when the COVID started, all the investors came and asked
for the money.
And there was not so much a problem on the lending side, meaning that, of course, borrowers were hesitating to pay on time a bit more, but
they still need money.
Yeah, but they still needed money. What was happening on our side? Well, basically, all the investors came and asked for the money, and we had to pay. Of course, we were paying it out, and at the same time, we were decreasing the portfolios. And at some point, the level of portfolios or income dropped in a level that it didn't cover the fixed expenses even. But I think the most that there were many lessons. Like we didn't see that risk. We didn't see how short-term money it is. We didn't realize that, and I learned a lot. But I think the most thing I'm proud about it is we never let down any of the investors. So we didn't delay anything. We paid to everyone. We ended up
hard decisions, but
yes, sure,
business kept running.
Sure, but that also gave us the turning point or bouncing back moment at some point, because we never let down anyone and they all returned. Some of the investors, of course, stayed with us because we were quite transparent in explaining what's going on and show the numbers. And of course, we ended up in a situation with a huge losses for the company, and I'm talking millions. And in that moment, you have to go to investors and tell them, "Hey, guys, I know what I'm doing. I need money." So, and it actually, well, first of all, I'm proud of that. We never let down anyone. And the second thing, I think it was the biggest challenge so far. I believe that we will have more. That's something that you know it's coming.
The fintech is dynamic.
Well, sure, but I think the biggest challenge also was that in the moment when you have huge losses, you already have showed that the crisis hit you, and in that moment, attract money to restart the business, to bounce back, was a crazy thing. So.
Yeah, I feel your anxiety. I was in Twino, the same story. The investors need money, lenders need money, so everyone. To get through that crisis, that learns a lot. So how about you, Sergejs? Indemo is a bit longer, a bit newer than COVID. So I guess.
Yeah. So I would say maybe like we'll share more like personal experience. I will recall our conversation in Stuttgart when we were going, because like basically, as I told, I have this legal background, and then the most fun and tricky thing is that basically now when operating the company, basically you need like identify risks and accept them or deny them, and then step up the work with yourself, because like in my previous profession it was basically just identifying risks, so basically the job of doer is identifying and like
someone else takes care.
saying that okay, you could do it, but blah, blah. Yeah, but in my case, then basically my one side of mind is still identifying the risks, and the other side of the mind, it's accept them or deny, and it's usually like dialogue with yourself. So, well, in this case, if we prepare prospectus terms or whatever, or some action with clients in such a way, will it be like some sort of risky or no? And I discuss with myself, because it's also like, even now I have a legal team and etc. Still, I need it's maybe some professional deformation, but even with legal team, I still don't trust them at all. I don't trust them like 100%. So I need to challenge myself. Is it right what they're saying? And then accepting. And it's usually it's quite suffering process, because you basically have a conversation with yourself, you're disputing with yourself, and then basically some part of
to yourself.
Yeah, and sometimes either left or right side of your mind basically makes a decision, and the most hard part would be when you understand, makes a retrospective for your decision, and then the left side says, yeah, I told you, all right, I was telling you.
There's always one side which is right for you. So
completely. So this is basically a slight challenge with my basically background I had.
Yeah. So during the day you are CEO, and during the night you are a lawyer who tries to identify the things that CEO is doing during the day.
Yeah. Maybe it depends on the mood. In the morning it could be lawyer, in the afternoon you're a businessman, and it changes, rotates.
Yeah, so the reality and risks and challenges are really harsh sometimes, and especially in the fintech environment where the market is changing fast, dynamic. So new technologies, new risks, new stuff is popping up, and you have to either accept or deny, but you have to move on. So and founders have to find the motivation to move on. So and let's talk a bit about the motivation. So if you're looking back on the previous discussions on the FinTech Close-Ups, then for example Martin Williamsons from Abilio described that he's being motivated by the mission, what Abilio is doing. So even in the hard times, he remembers why he is doing that. So they are the freelancer payment platform. So or Krish Pujats, who is a fun guy from Gravity team, he just told that there is a business value to having fun together. So that it keeps that this positive attitude is something that actually keeps you moving forward. So, and Valdis Siksnis, as a banker from Indexo, said that don't do it for money. So don't do it for money. If you do it for money, it's easy to take away that. So do it for other reasons. So, Iveta, so either though there is motivation different for each person. So what is getting you out of the bed every morning, and what is keeping you running through the day?
Well, that has changed in time, because I'm not going to be telling you a nice story about how I was motivated in the beginning by the mission, because I wasn't. I was motivated by money, by proving myself, by all those things that we can imagine, simple things, ego things, call them as you wish. So that was the beginning, but I completely agree that money should not be the motivator, because it's not going to work in the long run. To me, it was the moment when, when you have this hunger for earning more, and when you succeed in that, in some point you reach the level of income where you feel that comfort that you were seeking. So, and you're there, and suddenly the motivation disappears, because
what's next?
I'm good. I've done what I wanted, and even if you earn more, it doesn't bring you joy anymore at some point, because you have reached the level of comfort, and we have those different for each, but still, you reach it at some point, and then the all fun or happiness or fulfillment it disappears, because you earn more, but that does not bring any joy anymore. So to me it was a moment to realize that I need to search for some other motivation, to maybe revise if it's still what I want to do. And I had this discussion with myself: is it still something? Because I don't feel joy anymore. I'm not happy in it. So, and my motivation switched to basically, I think I'm close to getting high from the process now. So I enjoy it so much that I can't imagine living any other way. And of course, team. That's something that is my priority number one of the top values, and I'm sure that every member of my team feels it and knows it on a daily basis based on the decisions that I make. So I would say that people, because that's the first thing, and of course the joy that you have in the process. So fun. For sure, I have started since then also to looking for added value in the product, create things that are useful, not just copy paste the business model, earn the money and go for it. So, and it was in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, it's like the easiest way you can start. You just copy paste something, you go for it and it works, so why not? Now I'm focusing more on creating products with more added value, some problems to solve depending on the market or part of the world that we are operating in. So simple things like giving access to the people to the financial services that they don't have, and not necessarily only lending. So we are going outside those services as well. So added value, team, and fun in the process now.
How hard it was to admit to yourself that this has changed. So because we are material persons, also I'm a material person. So you reach something, and then you have to kind of look in your mirror and understand that, okay, this is not who I want to be now. I need some different purpose.
Well, I think we all think that we are so unique, but we are not. And from psychology perspective, that was the midlife crisis.
So not Lambo, but changing the.
Well, to me, yes, because it was the moment when I looked back at the values that I'm standing for. I looked back at the things that are actually important, because they have always been there, but you somehow focus on money, focus on those things. You don't forget them, but after that period, I just started to put them first. Mm-hmm. So in my case, people will come before the profits, depending, of course, on the situation, but it is like that. Mm-hmm. And many other things that I'm standing for. So how hard it was? Well, it was like, in my case, almost 2 years when I was completely lost. In translation, I was lost completely, not understanding what should I do next. Do I like the job I'm doing? Does it have any purpose? Why I'm doing it? Should I do it? And so on. So, and while you search for the answers, the right answers come.
Yeah, so that's a long journey. What about you, Sergej? So what keeps you moving forward?
Interesting. I was listening to Iveta experience, and it's basically, as Iveta is 10 years in that business and I'm like around 5, then definitely it's like some sort of I hear the evolution. Basically, I was also in the same shoes basically, and then if we would roll back 5 years ago, basically we probably would find Sergej somewhere when Iveta was like in 2021, you know. But I would say the initial one was basically like Iveta told, like more ego, like more challenging. So like personally, me, I was like yesterday I was like a lawyer with some like one assistant lawyer in subordination, and like after like months or like year, I'm like leading the FinTech, you know, with 25 shareholders, heavy regulation, stakeholders, investors, and then partners, and then 8 co-founders, you know. And definitely it was like interesting challenge whether I will make it or no, basically, because it was all the time, you could go back, so you could like say thank you guys.
Place,
I'm coming back, like and then probably Mintas folks would take me gladly back, but it was like all the time challenging. Are you like Sergej, are you ready to basically step out? No, we are continuing, new morning, new mood, and you basically start digging once again. It was, I would say, initial motivation. In some like struggling periods, maybe I get back to these feelings. So is it time to basically, I don't know, like step up or whatever? No, we are continuing. We are still building, But the second thing is definitely what is happening more and more now, which Iveta told, it's motivation by people. But like one of the like recent experiences is like it was like a week ago, like. As you know, our product is quite unique, so we're selling like non-performing loans, offering investors to invest in something which is not performing, and which for some seems that it's like some negative, something bad, but at the same time it's a very good opportunity, But this means we are working a lot on the educational part. So as we work with retail, private investors, we need to explain them why it's good to invest. And this is we devote a lot of resources in educating our community and all the team trying to make it. And one of the challenges in the almost last 3-4 years was creating some very comprehensive pitch video, explaining the platform and the product in 10 minutes. And on Friday, my teammate created I opened, I watched, and I had a feeling that basically I just was in San Francisco watching new iPhone presentations. I was wow, and it's really like a huge motivation.
They just give you the boost.
Yeah. Some while ago I would say, okay, yeah, guy is good, but it wasn't me who created it. Okay, but now it was like other feelings that wow. So it was a team. And you're part of this team, and it's really was a huge boost. So I will agree that the team, the people close to you, also in, as you know, our alliance of regulated platforms. Also, when we achieve some tasks, create something new, I don't know, some events or whatever. Also, you feel like wow, we are much more stronger together, and you also accept this success to you, and then it makes you moving each day.
Yeah, totally agree. This euphoric feeling which you get throughout the process, it's I guess which keeps everyone moving. Yet the question is how often you can get to that feeling. So because dealing with the regulated environment and fintech dynamics, it's not always that rewarding. Yeah, so
true.
How many times each of you have actually went home at evening and say, "This is it, I quit"?
Iveta?
I'm just trying to. I quit many times.
Many times.
Many times.
And then in the morning you wake up and
yeah,
okay, I'm good.
I'm good.
So I guess.
Well,
Let's get
it's I would say it's how to say it's in a psychology we call it pattern. So this pattern may
break out at some point.
Yeah, break out at some point. It's not only evening; it could be in the morning. it could be after the quite long board meeting and then the shareholders meeting, etc., etc. But definitely, I suppose each CEO goes through these moments. But I would say it's one of the big benefits of the operators who operate the businesses is take over this and say, fuck it, let's go forward.
Let's do it. Yeah. Why I'm asking this question because usually the CEO job is somehow romanticized. Yeah? So they just do all the stuff, and you can see how often the CEOs are going home and say, okay, I can't do this anymore, and then wake up the next morning and actually go and do, and they love it. As a CEO, I also know I love it. Yeah, so.
Yeah, but again, what you're going to do in that moment when you think, okay, I'm done. So what I'm going to do? And I'm the first thought, okay, I need to launch some business. So what's the point? Because it's what you do. It's
you already have one.
It's who you are. So just keep going. And
True. As a founders and CEOs, you have been through a lot, and I will not sugarcoat it. You will still have to tackle a lot of challenges throughout the way. Some known, some unknown. Yeah. So. But it's very important to learn from this experience. And we as Latvians, we don't like to talk with others, tell our failures, or God knows neighbor will find something out about me. Yeah? So, but that's why we started the FinTech Close-Up to show that FinTech is messy, it's complex, sometimes it's fun. And one of the best assets that we have from this journey is experience. Yeah? So, Iveta, if you would have to give one piece of advice to someone here in the room who will tomorrow, hearing these inspiring talks, go out and establish his own fintech company, what would be that piece of advice and why?
I've thought about it. Yes, I saw some of your podcasts, and I gave it a thought. And I think the only difference between me and the person who's going to start tomorrow or who's hesitating to start is that you decide to do it, because the only difference between me and someone else who maybe, I don't know, gave up or is that I'm just keep going, not knowing things, not knowing how to solve them, don't have experience, don't have knowledge, but you just go and try. You make mistakes, you learn from them, and you move on. So I would say that you should not wait for the moment when you will be ready. Because that moment might never come, and for many people, they wait for the moment, or going to have one more education, one more diploma, one more something, and then I'm going to be ready. Well, no, it's not. Like, in my opinion, it does not work like that. You just go in unknown, not knowing how you will do it, but you just try and do your best. Because that moment might never come. So if you have that urge or the idea, or if you ever even have considered the possibility that, okay, I should start my own project, it means that you should, because those thoughts, they don't come to people who are not brave enough, who are not brave enough mostly. Just do it and don't give up. So that's the only difference between me and someone who
is not doing that.
Yeah.
So make a decision, stick to it, perseverance,
yeah.
and you will succeed.
Because, by the education, I'm an engineer of environment protection technologies.
Okay.
That's
different podcast.
It's environment protection technologies, basically, and my education is there. So when I started to work in finance field, I never had the proper education. I never had loud family name or capital to even do it. I just used the opportunity. I worked hard, that's true. It's not going to be easy, but I just didn't give up, and I just went for unknown, not knowing how I will do it. I just said yes. So don't wait when you feel ready.
Perfect. Sergej, if you could go back in time 10 years and you meet yourself in this conference, what you would tell to yourself, what kind of advice you would give at that, like 10 years ago? Without the knowledge that you have now, and that person would want to start a fintech company.
Well, I would say like Sergej, like, okay, so basically, like time goes, and also like your like energy is decreases with time, like far you go, less the energies you have. And definitely I would say, Sergej, basically you needed to start this earlier. You needed to step on. So I would say my classic retrospective I have, for example, I know that for example my career in bank 10 years it was too much, so I needed to change something earlier and get into first of all get into fintech business sooner, and it was much more possibilities earlier. It was much more, and etc. So I would say, like Sergej, get your boots up and start moving faster than sitting and then waiting for something.
So the right moment, and not to be too comfortable in the situation where you are, right? So just move faster.
I would say to our listeners, it's a matter of asking yourself let's look into from the risk reward perspective. You're
now lawyer talking now. Okay.
In investors, investment business. So in risk reward, you basically ask yourself, if you're employee, you're working and you have a chance to try out something, so what is your risk? Basically risk tryout, it's not happening, you are going back. So now especially in current employment situation in Latvia, you will find alternative job if you're back, or even better one even. But if you're not doing this, you haven't tried, and then I don't know, you're like 10 years before the pension, well, then it's tricky. So you'll be asking, did I had a chance to try? You had. You tried, you not. And then there will be no way back. So I would say this is motivation for people who are having some great ideas or have even some offers to join some peers, co-founders, etc. To ask them, will you have any opportunity after 5 years, 10 years, or just try it? Okay, you're not succeed, fine. You always can back. So risk reward is very low here.
Perfect. There you have it. That's the best possible advice we can get from Iveta and Sergejs today. You can find a lot more experience and stories in our FinTech Close-Up series in YouTube. Go there, find it, and go learn, build your FinTech company. Thank you for joining. See you next time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.